Good morning, students. This is the part 2 of the first chapter, The Portrait of a Lady by Khushwant Singh. In the first part, we had discussed about how the grandmother looked and what sort of a thought the grandson had about the grandmother. When we started, the first paragraph told us that there were certain thoughts about the grandmother which were revolting for the grandson. And those thoughts were that the grandmother was once young and pretty and she was a child. Then the second paragraph describes something about the appearance of the grandmother, but the line which is most impressive is that the grandmother was like the winter landscape in the mountains. The reason she used to wear a white sari, she had silver locks, a curved face, but she never complained. This is the most important attribute of the grandmother which makes her appear a lady. Because the chapter is titled The Portrait of a Lady, where Khushwant Singh has drawn a pen portrait of his grandmother and at the same time telling us that she had all the attributes of a lady. Let's continue now with the remaining chapter, where we have been shown certain stages where the relationship between the grandson and the grandmother kept on changing. Stage 1 was when they lived in the village. Stage 2 was when they came to the city. Stage 3 when he started to go to university. Stage 4 before going abroad, and stage 5 after coming back. And then we come towards the end of the chapter. So today we are going to do stage 1 and stage 2. Let's begin with stage 1 when they lived in the village. And here you will notice the relationship between the grandson and the grandmother was of friendship. So let's begin this part. My grandmother and I were good friends. My parents left me with her when they went to live in the city, and we were constantly together. She used to wake me up in the morning and get me ready for school. She said her morning prayers in a monotonous sing-song. Monotonous is something which becomes dull because of lack of change. So it was a monotonous sing-song. The reason behind this morning prayer, just see. She said a morning prayer in a monotonous sing-song while she bathed and dressed me in the hope that I would listen and get to know it by heart. I listened because I loved her voice, but never bothered to learn it. Then she would fetch my wooden slate, which she had already washed and plastered with yellow chalk, a tiny earthen ink pot, and a red pen, tie them all in a bundle and hand it to me. After a breakfast of a thick stale chapati with a little butter and sugar spread on it, we went to school. She carried several stale chapatis with her for the village dogs. Now for a quick revision, the grandmother performed all the duties of a parent. Like she waked him up, bathed him, then dressed him. Then after that, after having breakfast, they used to go to school and she used to accompany him to school. Now see the next paragraph. My grandmother always went to school with me because the school was attached to the temple. The priest taught us the alphabet and the morning prayer, while the children sat in rows on either side of the veranda singing the alphabet or the prayer in a chorus. My grandmother sat inside reading the scriptures, and this tells us that she was literate and she knew the importance of education also. When we had both finished, we would walk back together. This time the village dogs would meet us at the temple door. They followed us to our home, growling and fighting with each other for the chapatis we threw to them. Now this is the stage 1. When they lived in the village, they were good friends. She woke him up, dressed him, sang the morning prayers, prepared all the paraphernalia. Paraphernalia means the things required for a particular task. Then she accompanied him to school. She read the scriptures in the temple. She accompanied him back home, and that time they used to feed the village dogs. Now this stage 1 tells the relationship between the grandson and the grandmother, but we should know certain words also which tell us that the grandmother had the attributes of a lady. She was caring because she cared for the grandson, dutiful, performed all the duties of the parents. Then she was very concerned regarding education. She was an animal lover, and at the same time she was quite attached to the grandson as she accompanied him to school and accompanied him back home. So here we get some more idea about the grandmother. Now let us come to stage 2. When my parents were comfortably settled in the city, they sent for us. That was a turning point in our friendship. The word turning point says a particular point where things completely change. And here you find that as they came to the city, the relationship between the grandson and the grandmother changed completely. What were the changes? Let us see. When my parents were comfortably settled in the city, they sent for us. That was a turning point in our friendship. Although we shared the same room, my grandmother no longer came to school with me. I used to go to an English school in a motor bus. There were no dogs in the streets, and she took to feeding sparrows in the courtyard of our city house. That shows that she was a great animal lover. There in the village, she used to feed the dogs, and here she got to feeding the sparrows. Then see the changes. As the years rolled by, we saw less of each other. This point has to be noted that both of them lived in the same room, but they saw less of each other because the grandson got busy in his studies. For some time, she continued to wake me up and get me ready for school. When I came back, she would ask me what the teacher had taught me. I would tell her English words and little things of Western science and learning. The law of gravity, Archimedes' principle, the world being round, etc. This made her unhappy. She could not help me with my lessons. The important thing is not that she could not understand those things. The important thing is that she felt that she was not able to help the grandchild in the studies, and that made her unhappy. Because you know that she was very concerned regarding education. Then she could not help me with my lessons. She did not believe in the things they taught at the English school and was distressed that there was no teaching about God and scriptures. One day I announced that we were being given music lessons. She was very disturbed. To her, music had lewd associations. Lewd means cheap associations. She thought that music is not meant for respectable people, and she thought that music had cheap associations. It was the monopoly of harlots and beggars and not meant for gentlefolk. She said nothing, but her silence meant disapproval. This is an important line. Her silence meant disapproval. This means that she did not complain at all, but her silence was telling the grandchild that she did not like all those things. She rarely talked to me after that. So a quick revision of stage 2. There was a turning point in the friendship. They shared the same room. The grandson went to the English medium school in a motor bus. She was unhappy as she could not help him in his studies. Later on, she was distressed about not teaching about God and scriptures at school. Then she was really disturbed when the grandchild was being given music lessons. She remained silent and continued to feed the sparrows. This is where we are ending stage 2. In the next class, we'll do the remaining stages.